interpretación, pero no hay ningún, o sea, solamente es música de fondo, entonces no hay ningún problema, Norma. Muy buenos días a todos y bienvenidos a esta sesión que tenemos esta ocasión el gusto de recibir a nuestro socio Central Nacional. En esta ocasión lo están representando nuestra colega Norma Arteaga. Bienvenidos, qué gusto tenerlos con nosotros. También el día de hoy tendremos la sesión junto con Mondi. Estará presentando el ingeniero Marek y el nombre de la sesión es la actuación eficiencia usando médiums de primer nivel. Antes de comenzar, me gustaría comentarles que será una sesión en inglés, sin embargo, contamos con traducción simultánea. En la parte de la barra de tareas hay un botón que dice interpretación. En este botón ustedes pueden seleccionar el idioma que gusten, en el que gusten escuchar la presentación, ya sea en inglés o en español. Las preguntas también pueden escribirlas, como siempre, en nuestro apartado de preguntas y respuestas. Al final de la sesión tendremos un espacio para responderlas. No hay mayor problema si son en español, ya que nuestra traductora y el equipo de Central Nacional nos estarán apoyando a la traducción para que Marek pueda responderlas. Sin más, les agradezco mucho su participación. Reciban una cordial bienvenida y les cedo la palabra a Norma para que ella pueda presentarse. Muchas gracias, Norma.
Thank you, Ilse, and thank you, everybody. Please change your language so you can hear everything in Spanish. Did you know that Central National is one of the founder members of Mexico? And we are very happy that we can use this space and this moment to learn to meet first, to learn to grow together in our industry. Mondi and Central National have a very stretched relationship. We've been working in many markets through our offices in Central National, but especially for Mexico, we've been working for over 15 years. And we had the opportunity to bring Marek many times. So probably Marek doesn't need any introduction because he already knows many of our clients. And we are hopeful that you will be interested enough to go into this information and also access a lot of information that you can find in the website corrugated-paper-expert.com or corrugated right? Or whatever it is. We're going to put
Right.
that information. We're going to put that information at the end somehow, but you have that link available for you. You can go and listen to this presentation and many other webinars that Artemisa has been introducing to us into Spanish. So please use that and let's take advantage of all this information. And I want to take the opportunity to introduce my colleague, Jorge. Jorge Cervantes is now in the family of Central National, and he will be handling many of your inquiries. And also, if you are interested in the paper, we are very happy to take your call. Jorge can be located in the 443-220-5677. And he can take your calls eventually if you would like to inquire about Mondi papers. I guess that's it for our side. What I would like to do is to introduce Marek, who hopefully comes again to Mexico and visits some of our accounts before he retires completely. But we have worked with him to many of our plants, our client plants, so he understands and he knows what the plants have in machinery, what they are developing in different boxes, whatever is the case or whatever is the question. Mondi is always willing to take your call and to help you understand the papers. Okay, so Marek is the head of the technical service team of Mondi Suisi, and he has been with Mondi Suisi for 45 years. And for 18 years, he worked at the PM1 and 2 department. Actually, as a senior manager, supports all technical services of Mondi Containerboard. He is responsible for claims management in this field. He works closely with production to eliminate problems. His duties include monitoring of market trends and customer needs. He is also responsible for well-based technical marketing and technical consulting for customers, including support and optimizing the performance of corrugated board machines and assisting with study and prognosis of the durability of corrugated packaging board grades. He published several technical articles and newsletters for Polish Papermaking Review. He is the author of the book From Fiber to Corrugated Board, Correlation Between Paper and Corrugated Board. And this book is also being translated into Spanish. So here, Marek, this is Marek. Your turn.
Thank you very much, Norma. Thank you. So nice introduction of myself. And so long, so all details have been passed over. Thank you very much. So let's start officially. Let's say hello, hola, buenos dias, good morning in case of Mexico time or South America time. It's before noon. Good afternoon from Europe. Yeah, it's 5 p.m. I'm already sitting in my home. Completed my work today in the office 4 p.m. Okay, so today topic is efficiency and performance with the first class fruits. I hope everything is running well. Translation, which again is made by Artemisa. It's already my fourth time. I have a pleasure to have a webinar for Mexico or for Mexico or Latin America markets. I believe not only people from Mexico are today present during that webinar. It's nice to see quite nice group of people being part of that webinar. Let's hope you will get something after that. So let's start. That was not mentioned. In case of questions, we will have a Q&A, question and answer session after the webinar. So please, if you have questions during my slides, put them on a chat. Yeah, you have a chat, so you can put the questions on the end. I will try to answer if I will be able to answer. So, okay, let's talk about efficiency and performance with the first-class fluids. It means that will be about semichem. I cannot change my slide. I don't know why. Okay. So we can skip an introduction because Norma did it nicely in describing myself. I would only say additionally that last 8 years I am responsible for South Latin America, included Mexico, of course. And my life last 8 years is just fully focused on a fruits boxes, on a tropical fruits boxes. Of course, the biggest trade is based on bananas, but mango, avocado, pineapple. That is my life, my professional life, trying to advise proper paper selection in case of this fruits boxes. Yeah. Agenda shortly about Mondi and shortly about a container board portfolio. That will be partly a marketing, but I will do it quickly and will try to be not boring. Yeah, just 2-3 slides about Mondi. It's my pleasure and duty at the same time to say a few words. Yeah, we are one of a global leader in sustainable and packaging and paper. Yeah, altogether we are mid-size corporate. 24,000 employees. We are present in 30 countries in around 100 production sites globally. Yeah, but that is total Mondi Group. In case of our business, means papers for corrugated board and boxes production. That like a Mondi, we have 6 paper mills in 6 countries. So we have freshly started or a new mill which started just 7-8 months ago. Duino in Italy producing recycled. We have Kuopio in Finland, which is our center production of semichem fluting, the strongest or one of the strongest globally power flute. We have Richards Bay in South Africa. Mondi is originally coming from South Africa, where we are still producing quite top kraftliner. Ružomberok, Slovakia, again getting back to Europe, where we produce so-called Smart Kraft White. It's a hybrid paper. I will describe a bit more that later on. And Świecie, Poland, which I am representing directly. I am representing, of course, a whole Mondi container board, but I am based in Świecie, Poland, where Mondi has a biggest mill. It's the biggest mill in Europe, like a single location, producing 1.7 million tons of paper, kraftliner substitution, semichem, and recycled. We have also a small paper mill in Turkey, in Tire, close to Izmir. Totally, altogether, we are producing around 3.3 million tons of paper. Product portfolio. I will start from, that will be a bit about the Mondi product later on, but I would like to underline, it is marketing, but the marketing I need to describe container board portfolio in case of a presentation to show the pluses of a semichem fluting and hybrid papers. That will be mostly focused on semichem flutings, but also a bit about the liners. So looking on that slide, that is just a general global classification of container board papers. First of all, we have horizontally two lines, of course, liner and fluting. And looking on the columns, we have virgin fibers on the left and recycled fibers on the right side, and in the middle, hybrid. Yeah, virgin fibers, fully virgin or predominantly virgin, and recycled on the right side, fully recycled or predominantly recycled. Inside, we have a hybrid papers, which are simply saying combination between virgin and recycled. The same related to fluting. I put two red cycles on that slide to indicate that in case of semi-chemical fluting, Mondi is a globally leading producer, producing more than 500,000 tons of different kind of semi-chem. And as well, we are leading in case of hybrid paper liners, which we call SmartCraft Brown, SmartCraft White, yeah, that we are also producing around 800,000 tons, 500,000 brown, 300,000 tons of white hybrid papers. That is kind of our, not only, but kind of our specialization. And of course, all these papers can be in brown or white version. So we have a full fiber mix in case of our portfolio, semi-chem, recycled, appearance means white papers, and the craft, yeah. In case of a white, that once again, it's a bit marketing, but I need it for further slides, yeah. So white top craft liner, bay white, and what I wanted to underline, Provented Smart Craft White, which is a hybrid liner, which is as typical liner, 2 layers, virgin top and fully recycled bottom. Yeah, so 60% recycled and 40% virgin bleached pulp on a top. That is so called hybrid paper or hybrid liner. Some people call it craft liner substitution, etc. And exactly the same, we are still a big producer of a craft liner, but every year we produce more and more brown version of hybrid liner, which is called Smart Craft Brown, and is the same like white version. So fully virgin top, which is 30%, and fully recycled bottom, which is 70% of recycled fibers. That are so-called hybrid liners, yeah, craft liner substitution. We call them simply Smart Craft Brown, Smart Craft White. In case of semi-chem, yeah, I was mentioned, we are the, I would say, leading producer of semi-chem, and we are producing three kind of semi-chem. The first basic difference between semi-chem and the liners, craft liner, craft top, is that semi-chem is a one-ply, one-layer paper. Yeah, never mind, is it a semi-chem from Mondi or is semi-chem coming from our colleagues, competitors, let's say. Yeah, it's a one-ply paper, and like a Mondi, we have three kind of semi-chem. Fresco and Aqua, which are coming from Poland, from Świecie, which can be recognized also like a bit hybrid semi-chem, because this semi-chem has up to 30% of recycled paper. And last but not least, Power Flute, which is coming from Scandinavia, from Finland, which is fully virgin, 100% semi-chem fibers, and that is, yeah, strongest or one of the strongest semi-chem globally. I mentioned semi-chem because, as you know, a title of a webinar is focused on a semi-chem, and I will talk a lot about usage of 3 times semi-chem into a double board composition. Yeah, you see a simple photo of a 5 layers of double board, corrugated board, indicated by arrows, 3 times semi-chem, also semi-chem like a middle liner of that composition. Okay, that after this introduction will be a bit easier for me to go into a topic, efficiency and performance with the first class flute. So 3 times of semi-chem like a Mondi. Once again, Power Flute, fully virgin, one of the strongest, if not the strongest. And the Fresco Aqua, Fresco regular standard semi-chem, and the Aqua Flute, last but not least, which is partly sized, which is partly water resistance comparing to two semichem mentioned earlier. So we have a power float with excellent creep performance. I will mention this creep, what is behind the creep, and why it is a big plus, this creep resistance. Yeah. Fresco flute, once again, standard semichem, and aqua, which is sized semichem, because normally semichem fluting is unsized, but this one we are adding some adhesive to make it partly water resistance. Yeah. Also, I will say a bit more about that. Aqualiner, just only mentioned that we are producing also aqualiner like others. We are not only one to offering a craft liner, which is partly water resistance from its top side. Yeah, so that the paper which is aiming to replace paraffinated paper or partly a bit PE coated as well, just to complete a story. Yeah, more aspects why it's better to use semichem. Yeah, I was trying to, and I will try to prove you to show that it's still, even if some people started to think, yeah, semichem is slowly dying, it's coming down. No, it's still a perfect paper for boxes which have to carry on fruits, vegetables between a continents. That it's still a basic. Yeah. And I will try to use some more aspects which are positives in case of semichem, when semichem floatings are used for box composition. That first aspect is to use semichem like a middle liner in a double board composition. Yeah, quite often, considering fruits boxes, banana, mango, whatever, avocado, pineapple, the middle liner is a craft liner. Yeah, so normally, or most of the cases, still double board, 5 layers is 3 times craft liner, because a craft liner like a middle liner, and 2 times semichem. We are proposing, it's nothing maybe new, it's known a long time, but we got back to that story already also 2-3 years ago, and we are trying to promote, not only promote, we are already proved with some of our customers that 3 times of semichem, and the semichem like a middle liner is a proper direction to make an innovation, to make a change, which has also an economical plus on end. First of all, the first aspect is that the semichem is up to 20% stronger, stiffer than craft liner. So its easy substance can be reduced by this 20%. Yeah, that graph on the left side is showing just a comparison between datasheet of craft liner and semichem, considering substance and short compression test SCT. So due to the semichem is 20% up to 20% stronger, stiffer than craft liner, that is possible to reduce substance of middle liner. Yeah, of course the semichem, yeah, normally is a bit more expensive than craft liner, but if a gap of a price is lower than 20%, that has economical aspect, yeah, economical plus, or is cheaper board using semichem instead of craft liner. That was an aspect in case of lightweighting and to get some plus. But the second aspect, I would say, from my perspective, like a technician, is even more important to use semichem instead of craft liner. Craft liner, just once again to get to the basic story, craft liner is a 2-layer paper, top and the bottom, and it's fully sized, especially top side is quite deeply sized most of the cases. Yeah, so when this 2-ply craft liner is like a middle liner, the weakest bonding, the weakest connection, considering a double board structure, is a connection between C flute and the middle liner. I mean, if it's a CB, the weakest is between C and the middle liner. If it's a BE, the weakest bonding is between B and middle liner. But if we, I suppose most of you or all of you is able to confirm that if you try to delaminate any double board, which is composed from craft liner like a middle liner, is always most the weakest and most easy to delaminate between bigger flute and a middle liner. So if a semi-cam is used instead of craft liner, just to remind you, semi-cam is a one ply and is unsized. Yeah, so semi-cam is one ply unsized, have the same characteristic in case of glue absorption from both sides. So when the semi-cam is like a middle liner, has the same characteristic in case of glue absorption, and the glue is penetrating a bit deeper, and this bonding is stronger and is, I would say, similar or the same from both sides. Yeah. So that for me is even more important aspect than this first one. Yeah, to use semi-cam instead of craft liner. Yeah, easier to bond, easier to run on a corrugator. And let's start from a most simple example to reduce a substance. Instead of craft liner, use semi-cam. Just a simple comparison based on our data sheets. Yeah, take craft liner 170 like a middle liner, the SCT short compression test 3.4 kilonewtons. So that can be easily replaced by power flute 140 or fresco flute aqua 135. So 140, 135 instead of 170, which give, 30, it's up to 20% substance reduction. So that makes good economic sense in view of both cost and particular runnability, as I was mentioned, in case of this glue absorption. Yeah. And just two easy examples again. The one which I was mentioned, double board CB craft liner 170, like a middle liner, can be exchanged by semi-cam 135. 135. So that will be lighter board, keeping the same performance. Will be a cost reduction. I put a question mark because depends of the price difference, and will be 3.5% substance reduction lighter, and 18% substance reduction considering only middle liner. Yeah. Second case the same, but different grammages, different substances. Craft liner 135 replaced by 120 or 112. If it will be our strongest semi-cam power flute, it can be 112 grams instead of craft liner 135. And again, lightweighting, substance reduction, and lower cost. So I would say, why not to try? Yeah, if it's really logic that it's not let's say artificial marketing. Last but not least, good to remember that semi-cam can also replace recycled medium, recycled fluting. Yeah, I put on that slide on that graph the simple comparison that semi-cam 135 can easily replace recycled medium 180. Of course, everything depends again of a price difference between 180 recycled medium and 135 semi-cam. But from a performance point of view, the substance reduction can be up to 25%. Yeah, so 180, 135 will give, in case of a paper comparison, is the same CMT, Concora medium test, and is the same short compression test, SCT, for good recycled medium 180, and the same level is represented by 130 or 135 semi-cam. So I would say good to remember that also this direction is possible, considering just talking about the performance. Yeah, only from it's a pure performance consideration. Few words about our aqua flute, which is, as I was mentioned already, partly water resistance. It's just a size, yeah. It's a sized fluting, considering COP60 is the most widely known methodology. COP60 is around 40 to 50 grams. I was trying to put on that graph on a bottom right side to put a comparison between paraffinated fluting, because still quite often on many corrugators you are applying a paraffin on a semicam to give this semicam, this flute, partly water resistance characteristic. But when paraffin is applied on a semicam, only one side is protected. Yeah, I put here. You see this blue columns is the aqua flute, and this brown is a semicam coated by paraffin. If you are applying a paraffin, only one side is protected partly against water humidity, and the COP60 is around 30 to 40. In case of aqua flute, both sides, yeah, both sides are partly protected. So because the scope is around 50 grams per square meter. So just also this aspect if someone is still putting a paraffin. And also considering aqua flute and high humidity condition, the aqua flute gives slightly better water humidity resistance. So not too much maybe, but 5%. So it's some difference. 5% higher stiffness, static stiffness, compression in high humidity condition means 90%. Just now I would say few words about the creep methodology, creep analysis. What is creep? Because a creep is still not well known, or I would say, based on my experience, people heard, yeah, creep, I heard, but people don't know quite often what really is behind a creep methodology. Creep is just a tendency of a material to give up under some specific force and condition. It can be compared to the simple drawing you see, showing a trees with the branches which are changing position during a day, depends of humidity, etc. So creep test is based on a piece of paper. Most probably you know CCT, corrugated crash test. Yeah, corrugated crash test means we are forming in Concora machine, we are forming piece of fluting into a flute. Yeah, putting between a press and just crush it. That is a CCT, which almost every semicam has in a technical data sheet. A creep is similar, means the same piece of paper formed into flute between a press, yeah, with certain load, which is in this case 9.2 kilograms, and this flute is crushed. I mean, it's a force, push it all the time, keeping the same force, 9.2 kilograms load, yeah, in time in a cyclic condition, yeah. Humid standard. So paper is under a force in cyclic condition. It's not official methodology of creep that everything started in Scandinavia. It's a standard creep, which is CCT10, and Mondi also, or Kuopio developed CCT15. Yeah, 15 because of 15% of original load when a CCT is performed is used during the script test. And the script test, which is similar to CCT, as I told you, so, and CCT, corrugated crash test, correlate with the ECT of edge-device crash test of corrugated board, what you see on a simple drawings on the bottom right. So, of course, it's a well known that considering box lifetime, if we are considering a strength of a box in a standard condition, like a 100%, when humidity is going up to 90% of humidity, the compression is going down by 50%. But when humidity is 100%, let's say, for example, in case of banana boxes, which I know quite well, the humidity on the way on the ocean from South America to Europe is 100%, 96, 100. When it's 100 humidity, that compression is going down by 60%. And when this condition change, wet, dry, plus vibration, that even up to 80% strength is lost on the way. And that creep is showing us or telling us how strong papers during such tough conditions. Yeah, higher creep, a paper, a boxes will be stronger, keeping a proper performance or proper compression. Yeah, that you see. Yeah, a bit more how we do it. How Kuopio is checking creep CCT 15%. So put a load 15% of originally CCT. I mean, once again, during a standard CCT test, it's some load, and during a creep, it looks the same, but only we are using 50% of a force, a pressure on a samples. Yeah, in these clamps you see already a crushed, pressed flute after a testing. Yeah, so we put a load 15% of CCT, and we are changing conditions. Yeah, temperature is 23 degrees Celsius, but humidity change 50 90 90 50 50 90 90 50, and that 3 hours continuous test cycles, and up to time when the flute will be finally crushed or buckling, yeah, will be broken. And looking on that graph below, just a simple comparison between recycled, between some medium semichem and power flute, which is still, as you can see, still much stronger, or is keeping its performance much longer than other papers. Yeah, of course, cannot be compared to recycled. Yeah, that is, let's say, creep, a resistance under changing conditions in time. Yeah, so that is some kind of additional plus when I already started to mention to use 3 times semichem. So if it's a craft liner, it's only 2 times semichem. If a semichem is like a middle liner and having 3 times semichem, and considering a creep, the box, the packaging is even stronger in consideration of a creep. Yeah, it means how strong box will be in time. Yeah, so that is the plus of creep test, which is once again telling us how long such paper or such packaging will keep its performance in time. Yeah. So first of all, that is a big, still a big gap between semichem and recycled, and power flute, our fully virgin semichem from Finland, is representing a highest level of creep, and that is coming. It's coming from chemistry. I have to say like that. It's only one line globally, which is in Monte Kuopio in Finland, where ammonium is used to make cooking to prepare a semichem pulp. And this ammonium methodology is giving higher compression, I would say higher stiffness in tough, humid conditions. Yeah, the fibers are not a bit, are much more brittle, much more stiff comparing to our colleagues, to our competitors. And because of that, yeah, sometimes it's not so easy to convert power flute. But when it's converted already into flute, corrugated board, it's really something special. this compression, this performance is really specific, and I would even say it's unique, yeah, in this case. So yeah, creep correlate with the CCT, corrugated crash test, and correlate with the ECT, edge device crash test, and as we know, ECT correlate also with the BCT, box compression test. So the creep is still, let's say, playing a role in case of performance packaging, especially once again, when it's a 3 times semi-cam use for corrugated board composition. Yeah, the life of a box we know from corrugated board boxes and yeah, transportation, especially considering tropical fruits. Yeah, so everything what is exported from Central South America to US, to Europe, to on other continents, that long distance still is demanding high performance. So once again, semi-cam and the creep it's still something behind. A few more words about the power float. I was mentioned the specific chemistry based on ammonium, more brittle, stiff, higher stiffness compression. We did a rebuild already 2 years ago. Most probably some of you know that after startup we noticed some problems with the proper runnability of power float, which is coming from that chemistry. That was a problem related to cracking, but that is already months behind us. We did a correction in case of chemistry and in case of paper production on a paper machine, and the problem is already months, I would say, behind us. And the new quality is stronger than before. Yeah, I don't want to say 15%, but lightly 10%. 10% new power flute or new semi-cam which we produce in Kuopio is lightly 10% stronger in case of tensile, in case of SCT, short compression test, yeah. In case of CCT, this corrugated crash test is slightly 10% stronger. It means it's another space for performance packaging, for lightweighting. Yeah, I will show some examples. Yeah, last but not least, in case of some analysis or some benchmarking, creep, long-term load curing. So still a creep of power float seems to be the best comparing to other semi-cam, comparing to recycled, of course, it cannot be compared. And also, I forgot maybe to put, but we did also some creep analysis comparing semi-cam to kraft liner to test liner. That, of course, is the same, yeah. The semi-cam is representing the highest creep, the highest possible creep comparing to other papers. So some simple, few samples, 4 or 5 simple examples of performance packaging, how to improve strength. So you see here simple composition, single board, 2 times kraft liner 200 and power flute 160 before upgrade. Yeah, you can keep the same structure, 2 times kraft liner and keeping new 160. That new one, so it means it's not lightweighting, it's just new power flute instead of a previous quality. So that will be a better performance by 5-6%, the same board weight, the same papers. Yeah, just only strength, the performance will be higher. Sorry, that it's that is already, sorry, that one, yeah. That you see already, it's not the same example. You see the same kraft liner 2 times 200, 160 power flute, but here you see already hybrid papers. Instead of kraft liner, the brown hybrid SmartCraft Brown, 200 grams. Yeah, the same grammages, but instead of kraft liner, a hybrid liners, and new power flute the same 160, and that will be the same performance. Yeah, or slightly better, 1%. I would not consider, because that is just a calculation based on our calculator. So 1%, let's say the same performance, yeah, but different papers. And of course, this SmartCraft Brown, hybrid papers, cheaper. So this board composition will be cheaper with a new power float and 2 times hybrid. Yeah, that is already substance reduction. So keeping kraftliner both sides, but not 200, but 2 times 186. So that will be lighter kraftliner with the same grammage of power float, but improved power float will give you slightly better performance, but substance reduction on liners will give you up to 5% lighter. So material savings, etc. Another one, material saving potential, another calculation, theoretical prediction. Instead of 160 power float before upgrade, it can be 140. I was mentioned to you that lightly new power float, our new semicam, it's 10% stronger. So you can play with the substance going down by 10% or slightly more, 11, 12%. Instead of 160 power float, 140 will give you the same performance, but again, lighter, yeah, up to 5% lighter. So material savings, less transport, also slightly lower cost. That is just a simple theoretical prediction how to make some savings, yeah, based on a semicam. Mondi Dream Board, that I call it Mondi Dream Board, based on a semicam floatings. It's example already from a few years back, coming from Mexico. That was for avocado boxes. In this case, it's not a power float, but it's aqua float. And yeah, we cooperate with the customers to develop this avocado box. And the final composition, originally that was 2 times kraftliner, 200 grams, and 175, 2 times semicam. The final composition of what I call it Mondi Dream Board was 2 times 160 aqualiner instead of kraftliner and 3 times aqua float. Yeah, so 2 times B float and also like a middle liner aqua float. Final substance reduction by 16%. Very, I would say, significant reduction of substance from 1079 to around 900 grams. So really a significant reduction. Few words about my project. I mean, our project, which I am still proud of, related to banana boxes. A project which I called HSB2. Why HSB2? As you see on a slide, hybrid sustainable banana box. Because a hybrid papers in it, sustainable because up to 40% recycled fibers due to the hybrid papers and banana box. And the concept again was based on a hybrid. I will not mention again these hybrid liners, but the concept, yeah, as you see, I will not share with you a paper selections, grammages, but the concept of this improved or innovate banana box was also based on 3 times semicams and 2 times hybrid liners, considering a bottom, because you know most of the cases a banana box is a telescoping composed from a double board bottom and a single bottom. So this bottom part, double board, was 3 times semicam and 2 times hybrid papers, and the focus and the results have been that the box was maybe not stronger but not weaker, keeping a performance, but was 10% lighter and around 10% also cheaper, thanks to that changes. Not mention to you what was a grammage on a banana box, but I would like to mention that this concept was based on my thinking about the performance packaging. Yeah, I was trying to make lightweighting, but something what I called lightweighting by right weighting. Yeah, it means to make a proper selection where all papers into a composition are not so far each other in case of a performance, in case of SCT or other parameters, yeah? Because I still, being so long in a business, still I have the same thinking that a corrugated board is as strong as the weakest point. So yeah, it's always good to have also good program for prediction, estimating the strength we have. And these new banana boxes have been based on 3 times semi-chem. So more in balance and 3 times semi-chem in this banana box. There are some more aspects or more positives which
Si nos regalan unos minutos, me parece que Marek está teniendo problemas con su conectividad. En breve volvemos.
Mientras Marek regresa, por favor, pongan sus preguntas. Sería fantástico obtenerlas.
Hello, that was some problem with the connection, I suppose, yeah? Do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you and see you now.
Okay, so I can continue, yeah?
Yes, please.
I don't know, that was only a moment when was a broken connection, yeah? Let me start from a slide which I stopped, that one, yeah? Is it okay? Everything is going on? Norma, may you confirm, please, that everything is fine?
Yes,
Okay.
Yes,
everything
everything's
is
fine.
Okay, thank you, Artemisa. Thank you, Norma. So let's continue. So using 3 times semi-chem, it's some more positive, very positive aspects, I would say. That is something what is based maybe not yet on so many measurements that came to me last month, would say, after making more times 3 times semi-chem. One positive aspect is that 3 times semi-chem, once again, semi-chem instead of kraftliner, is giving much higher wet shear. Yeah, those of you who are producing fruit boxes, you are checking wet shear. It means how strong is glue bonding. Yeah, when a piece of board is in water up under a force of 1 or 2 kilograms. So the piece of board is put to the water and is under a force of 1 or 2 kilograms. And time when a board is delaminated is measured. So in case of first class flutes or semi-chem, when a semi-chem is used instead of kraftliner, it's up to 100% longer time, 100% higher wet shear. I would say that is really something I didn't know a few months ago. So wet shear is really much, much higher when semi-chem is used instead of kraftliner. Also, PAT, pin adhesion test, is also a test which is, as you know, telling us how strong is glue bonding between the layers, yeah, separate fluids, but not in water, but in a standard condition, yeah. Putting some pins inside the fluids and delaminate a board, delaminate on a press. So this pin adhesion test, several measurements is telling me the pin adhesion test can be up to 10% stronger when semi-chem is used like a middle liner, yeah? Once again, because it's a better glue bonding, glue connection. A glue is penetrating deeper into a semi-chem, which is used like a liner. In case of a hybrid papers, a few words that using these hybrid papers, once again, virgin on the top, recycled on the bottom, predominantly recycled. These papers need less heat, so it's possible to run faster on a corrugator up to 20%. And also, those of you who are on a corrugator, you know that it's easier to bond and less glue is needed for a recycled paper. So because bottom is recycled, much easier to bond. Also, glue consumption can be reduced up to 20%. That is already proved on many corrugators as well. Yeah. Okay, that I can skip the circular economy, saying only that these hybrid papers are perfect because maybe you know it, maybe not. It's impossible to produce a paper only based on recycled fibers. It has to be 20 to 30% virgin fibers addition. And these hybrid papers with this 30, 40% of virgin fibers are perfect in case of the circular economy, just to mention that again. So recycled fibers and virgin must coexist together in relative balance. That is no doubt. Just getting slowly to the end, I would like to share with you some results which I did in case of banana boxes, banana project, which was successfully realized last year with two of my customers, one in Ecuador, one in Colombia. I can mention a name, Incarpalm in Ecuador and Uniban in Colombia. We agreed that we can mention them during a presentation. In case of these banana boxes, I cooperate with one company which is close to me, FEMAT, and I wanted to have all kind of measurements of this new, let's say, banana boxes, new banana corrugated board based on 3 times semichem. So I wanted to have not only ECT, not only BCT, but also bending stiffness in machine and cross direction, so-called shear test, yeah, which is folding a board on a corners, and I would say quite well-known torsion, yeah, torsion test. So in case of this banana boxes, I did a full scale of analysis, ECT, bending stiffness, torsion, shear, standard, and HSB2. That is a board which is based on 3 times semichem. And important to underline that all these results have been, or parameters have been slightly or more higher on this new composition. And that gave me a proof that if a papers are more in balance and 3 times semichem, the construction is stronger. Yeah, more in balance, it's stronger. So that was in 50% humidity, standard laboratory condition, but the same was the same is visible in 90% of humidity. Also, this parameters on HSB2 based on a hybrids papers and 3 times semichem and has been stronger. Yeah, once again. So that was really proving me that this had sense. Yeah, in case of BCT, that was amazing. The prediction and the real results have been almost on the same level, which like a starting point, I could believe on that making a prediction of BCT. We did a prediction of BCT of these banana boxes using 2 ways. One way was my own, I mean McKee formula, which you see in the first column. A second was based on a FEMAT company, which is a new software or software which is calculating not on a McKee formula but on a finite elements. Yeah, that is a more advanced software, and the real results also on a customer side have been also very close to a theoretical prediction. So that was, I would say, really for me that was amazing. And how to say? I would say that is a crucial slide or crucial graph on the bottom of that slide of that presentation, or considering a performance of fruits boxes which are carry on between continents. Every project would say, if you want to make any changes on any kind of fruits boxes, is it avocado, mango, pineapple, or banana, like you see here, because that is a case study, or HSB2, this banana box, you see on the bottom a time from mid of July where bananas have been put into the boxes, up to 1.5 months later when bananas have been already in a supermarket. Yeah. We put into some few banana boxes sensors which have been recording humidity and the temperature. Yeah. So we know exactly from a starting point when bananas have been put in a farm, yeah, to the boxes, what was the humidity and what was the temperature. You see, this blue line is a humidity, air humidity, relative humidity, and this brown is a temperature. So when bananas have been put 80% humidity, that you have 1 month from mid of July, let's say, to mid of August, 1 month, the bananas have been in the container on the ocean, yeah, 100% humidity. So the compression went down by 60%. Yeah. After that came to Europe, distribution center, a growing, reopening area, a few days, and that supply to the supermarket. All at all, why it is important? Because if you know precisely what is a relative humidity and temperature, you can precisely predict, yeah, you can precisely predict how strong should be a box. It means you know what kind of papers you can select for your box, whatever box is, yeah. That for me is basic for any kind of project or any kind of innovation. If someone wants to make an innovation, that is a basic, yeah, to collect what is precisely relative humidity in every step of supply logistic chain, yeah. Because of that, I think that it is a crucial. Okay, and the last slide, the summary. So using 3x semichem plus hybrid liners brings additional benefits. I was trying to tell you that higher speed of corrugator, lower glue consumption, stronger glue bonds between a layer, pin adhesion test, wet shear, this glue bonding in a water, yeah. Boxes are more in balance. And last but not least, I even forgot to put it, the creep, yeah. 3x semichem, considering a creep, giving extra compression, extra strength, yeah, on the end. Yeah, so that was, yeah, almost 1 hour, 58 minutes, maybe a bit too long, but yeah, that's all. And let's go to the question, if it's any question, if we have any questions, yeah.
Hi, Mark. Yes, we have a couple of questions. I'm going to let my colleague, Jorge, to explain and read them.
Thank you. In this case, when do you recommend using the different types of fluting papers, like fresco, like aqua, like power flute?
Yeah, that I was presenting 3 kind, and a good question. Yeah, okay. What kind is the best? Once again, I have to start. The 3 kind of semichem have slightly different strength, performance. So the strongest, power flute, fully virgin, yeah, slightly weaker, a fresco. So if the conditions are very tough, long distance, power flute, yeah. If it's a bit less, can be fresco, or we can play with the grammages also in between. Yeah, it really depends on a specific box. Yeah.
Box, yeah. And by this question, the other that I have is: do you get the same runability when you're running a fresco fluting paper that contains recycled fiber compared a power flute made with a virgin fiber? Or is necessary to adjust the machine, the corrugator speeds, to allow the adhesive to penetrate properly and avoid warping or other quality defects?
Not really. Answer is straight, and I have seen that many times. I mean, 3 times power flute or 3 times fresco. Yeah.
Mhm.
No specific settings, I would say. Standard setting in case of temperature. What that means? That standard means always the same. That the temperature of semi-chem before corrugating rolls should be around 70 degrees. Yeah,
Yeah.
that will be enough. I am saying between 60 to 80. Let's say about 70 degrees. It's not a hospital on a corrugator, plus minus 10 degrees. Temperature have to be in a channel between 60 to 80 degrees will be fine. Not any specific settings. Yeah.
In both fresco?
Maybe a bit higher for fresco. For power flute, which is a bit more stiff, for power flute, maybe some steaming, yeah, but moisturizing. It's called steaming, moisturizing, but also not too much, yeah, not too much.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
But nothing special. In case of kraftliner, when kraftliner is like a midliner, it's a more complicated, yeah.
Yes, yeah,
But
we
in
have
case
that
of
project.
semichem, from my perspective, my comments, it's easier, yeah,
Mhm.
or less attention is needed, yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. Thank you.
Artemis, I don't know if you have seen more questions.
I didn't look on a chat.
Mhm. Right.
Sí, tenemos un par de preguntas en el apartado de preguntas y respuestas.
Okay,
Lo-
let us go through some. We will translate in English so Mari can hear the question. So it says, why with power flute, we still have problems of runnability in the corrugator, a corrugator that is 10 years older.
Okay, so I would answer like that. I was mentioned that the power flute is a bit more difficult to convert, yeah, on a first slide because it's very, I mean, much more stiff, yeah. I was mentioned that chemistry, that the power flute fibers are more brittle, yeah, more stiff, so a bit more difficult to corrugate it. In case of temperature, I was mentioned to keep the same temperature, around 70 degrees before a corrugating rolls. But in case of power flute, it's also good to remember to keep lower tension of paper, lower tension comparing to fresco, lower tension, yeah, because a power flute is stiffer, as I was saying, so a bit lower tension is improving situation in case of runnability or converting into a flute, yeah, lower tension.
Marek, somebody is asking, where can they find your book? And can you repeat the name of the book again?
Yes, a name of a book is From Fiber to Corrugated Board, Correlation between Paper and Corrugated Board. I am very happy that someone was asking. As you have been mentioned, it is translated into Spanish. The books can be only get from us, from Mondi, so contact me, please, yeah? I
Thank
can
you.
also add, I can only add that this book was published in 2018, and next year I will be published. I mean, Mondi, in behalf of Mondi, that will be a second part of that book, which will be even a bit more practical. Yeah, I will be fully focused. I mean, half and half. Half of a book, the second chart, will be about corrugated board defects. Yeah, and the half will be about the performance, about what I was talking today also. Yeah, how to predict properly box performance. So if someone would like to get a book, please contact me directly via mail. Norma, you know my mail, yeah?
Yes.
So please pass over to someone who wants to get a book. That will be pleasure to send it. Or Norma, I can send to you some. We have English version, it's a problem, but the Spanish version we have still quite a lot. Yeah.
Thank you.
Another question is, what do you recommend to use 5-paper semi-chemical? In this case, the box is a double wall, or have a mix in a semi-chemical and recycled paper?
You know, I am always trying to keep a board in balance. But sorry, you said the question was 5 times semi-chem? 5 times? Yeah, that was the question is coming because one of our competitor or colleague, yeah, was promoting fruits boxes based on 5 times semi-chem, yeah, which is possible. Also semi-chem like liners, not only like a middle liner, but also like an outside inside liner. Yeah, it's possible. If someone wants to do it, it's not a problem. But semi-chem is not so clean like a craft liner. Yeah, like a liner. So all at all, it's better to use 3 times semi-chem and 2 times liner. Yeah, and in case of recycled, yeah, it's always good to be a bit more sustainable, I would say. Yeah, to put hybrid papers with some recycled addition, simply saying. Yeah.
So, Marek, you mentioned that the semi-chemical, it's only one layer, and the the craft liner board is more layers. How many?
Yes.
How
Sorry,
many layers is a craft liner board?
Sorry, I didn't get the question, Norma, properly, I suppose.
Yeah. Somebody is asking then how many layers is a craft liner board made of? And also, is the creep similar to the bending test or are different?
So that was a 2 question in it, yeah. The first, in case of, once again, if it's a double board, 2 times craft liner, 3 times semi-chem. So 2 times craft liner, 3 times semi-chem. In case of a second part of a question, if I understood properly, that was a question if a bending stiffness is correlating with the creep, yeah? Yes, I would say yes. I have not study about that, but the geometric bending stiffness in high humidity condition will correlate with the creep. It means if it will be semi-chem, that the bending stiffness, and I was showing, presenting a results, the measurements based on banana boxes with the bending stiffness, and that was bending stiffness with a 3 times semi-chem was higher compared to craft liner in a middle liner. Yeah.
Another question is about the banana boxes. What do you recommend if use a power flute or in this case a fresco fluting?
Both.
Your experience.
Depends. Yeah, depends. We have already, to be honest, not playing a game. We have customers using 3 times power flute, yeah, and we have customers using 3 times fresco. But with the power flute, once again, the power flute is slightly stronger.
It's
So
more
it
stronger than others.
can be a lower grammages, lightweighting, yeah, comparing to
Compare
fresco.
the grammage.
Proper positioning, yeah.
Another question is, hello, why does the corrugated medium break after fluting when paper is too strong?
Yeah, that's happened. That I was mentioned that we had a problem also with our power flute in 2024. Yeah, mostly, and also Italy last year also with the power flute was just too stiff. Yeah, and after corrugating started to crack and breaks. Yeah, but that is already months behind us. Yeah.
Does a chemical paper react with the temperature of the corrugated roller to make it more rigid?
Make it more
Rigid.
Yes, that is like that. I mean,
Retention.
considering power flute, which is the strongest paper or one of the strongest, is very stiff, very brittle, very rigid. Yeah. So it's a bit more difficult to convert it. Yeah. But that the pluses are this higher creep. Yeah. So yes, when it's too high temperature on a Cory rolls, yeah, too high temperature of fluting, yeah, that started to may start to crack, to be broken. Yeah. So proper temperature, lower temperature, if someone has a problem, yeah, with cracking or breaking, that have to be a slightly lower temperature. And I was mentioned before, answering on one of a question, lower tension, yeah.
Perfect.
But
Another
if
so
someone has a problem with the power flute, just contact me, please, yeah, or somehow ask. If someone wants to have has a problem or would like to get some recommendation in case of power flute, just contact me, please. Yeah.
another one tell us about the if we can use a medium like a liner, or it's not a good idea.
Yeah. No, that the presentation was focused on. Yeah. To
Mhm.
use semichem like it means
Like a liner.
medium, like a liner.
And the use of semi-chemicals is something that must be discussed extensively with operational personnel. Taking
Sorry.
into account that their treatment is different and we will always encounter operational resistance.
Sorry, I didn't get the point.
Yeah, the use of
Uh-huh.
semi-chemical is something that must be discussed extensively with operational personnel, taking into account that their treatment is different and we will always encounter operational resistance. Are you in agreement with that statement?
Mm, I was already that was a similar question. No, in case of semichem, you don't need a special settings, I would say, yeah, or special procedure, yeah. Okay, sometimes moisturizing, a bit lower tension, but generally it's not. Yeah, it's more rigid paper, it's more stiff paper, yeah. So that can be a bit more properly treated, yeah. But also, if you get a recycled medium, recycled fluting, yeah, also you have to treat it carefully because it's too weak, yeah, can break also easily, yeah. That I would say like that, yeah.
I think that is what we have on the questions. And I remind everyone that there is a portal where you can get a recording of this presentation and many other webinars that are free. If you go on the computer and type corrugated-paper-expert.com, you can always get a copy of this presentation. And if you have inquiries about Monday paper, please contact either Jorge at 443-220-5677 or myself at 647-460-4856. And again, we are Central National. We are very happy and proud to have a guru of the paper with Marek Motileski here. And happy to have you. Yes.
Nice to hear it, but yeah.
In this forum. Thank you, Marek.
Thank you very much. I have seen also that you put, Norma, my mail address. So in case of more advanced questions, in case of power flute or fresco or semichem from Mondi, of course, that is my duty to be in service and my pleasure to answer or to comments. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thanks. Thank both of you from Central National. Thank you, Mexico, for another webinar. I hope the most of attendees got something behind that. Artemisa, thank you very, very much for a translation. That was a pleasure again to cooperate with you. Yeah.
Muchas gracias a todos por asistir y un agradecimiento especial a Marek por darse el lugar de estar aquí hoy con nosotros. También a nuestro socio fundador, Central Nacional. Esperemos poder seguir colaborando y tener futuros webinars en conjunto. Que tengan un excelente día a todos y nos
Gracias.
estaremos viendo pronto.
Gracias.
Hasta
Gracias.
luego.
Thank you very much. Muchas gracias. Keep
Chao.
well.
Bye bye, Marek.